All right, so it's me again. One of my friends said that I think she put it in one of the comments, but she was like unapologetically T, and I think that is a very fitting name. Um, cause I just don't give a fuck no more, and that's just to be honest. But anyway, today I want to get into a heavy closed lip topic. Um, this is definitely one that was hard for me to reveal, definitely publicly. However, if I don't give a shit, I literally have to really don't give a shit. So I'm not only airing out what people have done to me, I am airing out, you know, what people have done to me and also what I've done to other people. So this one is definitely a good one. So, stay tuned, hang in there, because I am going to kind of recap my day for today and then I'll get into that topic. But yeah, so today me and LC, we had a day. So we went out, um, we went to Sadly, Virginia, which is basically Southampton, Virginia. And we went out there because when I was in the hospital, it was a lady that used to come on the floor that did arts and crafts with the patients. And anybody that knows me know I like arts and stuff like that. So me and her, of course, clicked. And she was an older lady and we were talking about so many different things. But she mentioned that her church was the church that Nat Turner went to back in the day, and we was talking about Nat Turner and how Nat Turner was basically he claimed that he received this divine intervention or message from God to revolt against slave masters and yeah, and that's kind of like how his revolt happened. They call it an insurrection, but I don't feel like that should be called an insurrection. I think that's inappropriate to basically fight for your life against your captors. So that's just my opinion. But we went out there. It was kind of underwhelming. The church was really nice looking on the outside. We didn't get to go in because I didn't start my day on time like I wanted to. However, I don't care. I still went out there and we got to like explore a different part of Virginia. So, let's see. We did get to see the church. They have been renovating and keeping it up. It looked like it probably started out as like a small house, but they've been building on it. We wanted to see his, like, how you have the markers of like historical events or people. We wanted to see that. We Googled it, but when we went to go find it, it was not there. Which was a little sad and underwhelming because I felt like he made a big contribution to African American history. So after that, we still wasn't ready to go in the house because it was like maybe like an hour and a half drive. So we came back and I was gonna go to Bill's Owl because that was just something that I've always done since I was a teenager. However, I was dressed, well, I am dressed with the dress on, and then Charlotte also, didn't want to go, so we ended up taking Sassy back home, and, she picked to go to, the Holocaust Museum, so she had two in mind, but she picked the Holocaust Museum. So I have been there in the 6th grade, and then I have been there again for either teaching or either like one of my class assignments for teaching when I was in college. And I'd also been there with a friend and her mom when I was younger. So I've been there a couple of times, and I was actually happy that we went because a lot has changed. So that was pretty cool to see the different changes. And it was actually like just a cool experience, period. So if you are in the area and you want to explore some history, definitely with genocides going on across the world right now, You can go check out the Holocaust Museum. Definitely, if you haven't studied anything surrounding the Holocaust, it'd be cool to pick it up. It'll be cool to go there and check it out, and it's free. So it's a free thing you could do. What else did we do? Oh, so we rode around Northside after, and I got to show her where she lived when she was a baby. And it also brought up like a lot of memories of like parties, house parties, just different friendships and people, like events, things. Like I started thinking about Cynthia, and if you know Cynthia, like you know how she passed away and all that stuff. I don't even want to get into that, but it just brought up how much of an impact she had on my life. Like to this day, I still think about her. I've never forgotten her. And she's one of the reasons why I did not drop out of college, because that's another thing. Most people, probably most family members or people that know me, I was failing out of college. Like my first 2 years, like I ended up getting on academic, it was either academic warning or probation. I can't remember. But I do remember it was one of those things, like if you do not do good next semester, like you gotta go. So, I ended up Cynthia ended up passing away, and I also ended up getting pregnant with Charlotte after she passed away, I think. I think it was after she passed away, and that kind of like definitely changed my whole trajectory of my life. So yeah, she had a big impact on my life. Like I remember her talks. I remember telling her I wanted to drop out, and just her being encouraging and telling me stick in there, and that you got an opportunity that some people don't have. So yeah, so I remember that. But to get to the topic of discussion today, I think this topic is extremely important, not only for the Black community, but for all communities of people. Shaming people for STDs. It's funny because I saw when Sexy Red did the interview, and a lot of people were in the comments calling her nasty, dirty, just because she said she had caught chlamydia. She also knew who she caught it from, right? So, yeah, I just seen like a whole bunch of holier than thou people in the comments like, that's so gross and blah, blah, blah. And when I see stuff like that, like it does not anger me whatsoever. It just lets me know that either number one, a hit dog is hollering, or number two, you have been fortunate enough in life that you have dodged these things. For me, I wanted to be transparent about this topic and my my diagnosis, because I feel like a lot of people are hiding they're hiding their diagnoses. They're not telling people their diagnoses because of shame, guilt, embarrassment. When that happens, we cheat people out of, a choice. So let's just say, even if you are taking all the precautions and the steps to not infect someone else, you still are robbing a person who does not have that diagnosis a choice of, dealing with you. It should be that person's choice. The other person's choice that you are dealing with. So this is just one of these things that I feel like in order for me to be free and live my truth, and to have my confidence back, I just want to be clear and upfront. Like, I was diagnosed with, it is HSV, which stands for herpes simplex virus, and I have two, which would be genital. There is HSV1, which usually appears not in the genital area. So that can appear anywhere, face. It just depends on what you into. So, and a lot of people are very unaware that like the statistics for people who has herpes is 1 in 4 people. So that means if you line up 4 people, at least 1 in 4 people, one of those people have it. So another thing that I wanted to discuss was that there are a lot of people walking around with it and don't know that they have it. So what that means is they are carriers. And because when you do STD panels, if you do not request a full panel STD, you will not know that you have herpes. And that's why it's spreading at such a large rate. So it's a young woman I follow on Instagram. Her name is Shayna. She calls her audience and her followers cousins, and she does a lot of education on the virus and on gaining your confidence back after you've been diagnosed. And like, I never really interacted a whole lot with her, but I definitely watched her page, and she definitely helped build my confidence with that. I feel like when I was diagnosed, I definitely felt dirty. I definitely felt like I would be undesirable. No one would want me, which led me into not self-disclosing. Now, I did not self-disclose to 2 people, and I should have. And that's why I said earlier, like, I have made videos where I've called other people out on their bullshit. Like, I'm going to make videos where I call myself out on my bullshit. Like, I have had people who have been diagnosed with HIV come to me and tell me, and this was platonic friends or people that were around me that would tell me like they had that. So I carried a lot of shame and guilt behind not self-disclosing when I put myself back out on the market of being sexually active. Currently right now, I'm not sexually active. I have not been sexually active since probably like July. So it ain't probably, it's been July. I've been keeping count because it hurts. It really fucking hurts my spirits. But it's actually good for my spirit too, because it allows me to have a clear mind and not associate sex and love together like I normally would from being sexually abused myself. That wired me to tie sex and love together, and unfortunately, you guys, one has nothing to do with the other. You can use sex to show someone you love them, but you can have sex without any love attached to that. So I do appreciate, my celibacy journey this go around. And it's not my first time. I was celibate 2 years after I got pregnant with Charlotte. I left her dad like at 3 months pregnant, and I did not have sex because I had natural childbirth. I didn't want to have sex. I have natural childbirth. And I also just was like very angry at the male race after I had her. So I did 2 years with her, and I feel like it was a good thing, but it was like a bad thing too, because it was like when I did decide to have sex, like I just had fun. Like, I did not have the self-control that I normally would have had if I probably was just having sex casually with one person or something like that. So, and that's another thing, like sexuality in women. Like, I feel like that shit need to end. With men looking down on women. Y'all always talking about what's a woman's number. However, number doesn't matter, and that's one of the things that Shayna talks about, and I'm gonna put her tag into my description. But number doesn't matter, and here's why. You can have a person who has only slept with one person, and they slept with one person unprotected, but that other person that they were sleeping with that was unprotected was sleeping with multiple other people. But that one person, he or she only slept with one person, but the other person is sleeping with everybody. That one person can catch everything that other person is bringing to them. So that's why numbers don't matter. What matters is safe sex, responsible, sex, and STD panels. So if you're having sex, you need to get tested. You need to get tested periodically. If not once a year, you should get tested twice a year. 3 times a year. You should check on your health. So I would say this, me going forward, if I was to have sex with somebody, and if I was to start dating somebody, I definitely now, in hindsight, I can look back and say, oh, that shit was super wrong. But now I can say, I would tell that person off the bat, because I feel like if that's something that they don't want to involve themselves in, like, let them know straight up, like, why reel them in, and that's something they don't want. And if they don't want to deal with you because you have it, that just means that person's not for you. It's a person out there for you that'll accept you for you. And I mean, I just know personally there's a lot of people that has this diagnosis, and nobody knows, and that's their business. I feel like when it comes to diagnosis like this, you should be able to handle this the way that you see fit. My only thing is learn from my mistake. Tell people right away. Or if you choose to tell them after you've dated a little bit, and then things start to get heated up, that's also fine. So I would just like to say I apologize to the 2 people that I did not self-disclose to. And I've already had a conversation with one of them, and the other one I have not. However, both of them, it was protected sex, and I was cautious, and I was taking medications. So that still isn't foolproof either. However, I wasn't trying to just jeopardize someone else's life. Another thing about HSV is if you've had unprotected sex with multiple people, it's hard to determine who gave you what if they haven't been testing themselves. HSV will lay dormant, which means that you could not have a symptom or a flare-up what the fuck so ever. So if you have been a person and you've been getting tested periodically, and you've been doing the right thing, but you haven't requested a full panel STD check, you will not know that you have it. So start requesting those full panel checks, or either just start requesting, like seeing what's on the panels, asking about what's on your panel when you go to your doctor, like just having that conversation with your doctor. For me, I literally had to talk to 2 friends before I made this video. However, like when I tell y'all, I'm tired of living a lie. I'm tired of living in secrecy. Some things are going to be kept from me, but like for this, like I don't give 2 shits. Like a lot of people are walking around with this and, living in shame and guilt and all that. Like I didn't give it to myself, so I'm not going to live in shame and guilt. However, I did because I was miseducated, because I was feeling low and down on myself. I did not handle it properly when it came time to self-disclose. So I feel like I just wanted to make this video. I feel like the more people who speak out about having it and that you can live a normal goddamn life with it, like it's plenty of celebrities with the shit. But I mean, if you pay attention to the news, like if you look at your city, like there are numbers of projected STD rates in your city. Pay attention to that when you just hooking up casually with people. So like, yeah, be careful out there. That's all I could tell y'all. I did not get this by hoeing myself out. So, you know, I just feel like I want to bring awareness to it. Now, if this triggers you, or if this makes you feel like I am dirty and I am nasty, then like that, you need to check in with you. That's something that's bothering you. That's something that's triggering you. So I would tell you to reflect on you if this bothers you. If you have not been getting tested or asking for full panels, please go do it. For me, moving forward, like I said, I'm just going to be upfront and honest, because if a guy wants to deal with me, he wants to deal with me. If he don't, he don't. And I don't want to deal with nobody who doesn't want to deal with me. I'm not forcing nobody. I'm not chasing no niggas no more. I'll attract who I'll attract, and I still gonna vet that. So I think that for me, though, in my mind, I have decided that instead of worrying about how many niggas, how many women a nigga done been with, or, who his ex is and all that crazy shit like that doesn't matter. I want to get STD checks together before we start having sex, and periodically continue to do that, just to keep, a safe space in that department, because it's wild out here, and I'm pretty sure there'll be something new. You always got to be aware of that, something new coming out. And but yeah, and it's funny because herpes is, if you research it, it is basically like a cousin to chickenpox, the Zoroaster, I think that's how you pronounce it, virus. It's a form of chickenpox. It's just slightly different. And I don't know if I'm using the correct verbiage by saying form, but it is closely related to chickenpox. Or would that form being now? I don't give a shit. All right. Whatever it is, my brain has been functioning all day. So I don't even care about terminology. You either get what I'm saying or you don't. I don't care. And you're going to just hear, I don't care, because it feel good to say that shit. Like, I don't care. I'm trying to think of anything else. Trying to think of anything else that I could add to this. I do want to say, yeah, I came across people in my life who had, HIV, syphilis, all that stuff. They were not my romantic partners. However, they got to live a normal life. There are support groups also out here for people who have these diagnoses. Like Google, use that $1,000 phone that's in your hand and Google for support groups. I have been getting support groups since I realized that, I could not function in this world like society wanted me to, which was probably about like 7 years ago. I've been finding support groups. Support groups have been finding me. I used to go to a narcissistic abuse recovery group, that's like a second family to me. They really helped me survive a lot of things. They really educated me and brought awareness to like domestic violence and what domestic violence looked like, because I didn't know what domestic violence looked like because I grew up and that was my norm. So I just feel like, if you are in doubt about any of these tough topics that society does not always give us a safe space to talk about, find those people that are doing what I'm doing and that are verbalizing, hey, look, I'm going through this too, and I'm living a normal life. Like, I guarantee you, if you go to Shayna, her name is Shayna Singleton, and I'm going to put her IG handle in my description. But if you go to her page, like, she's a beautiful woman. She's very confident, and she don't give a fuck what y'all got to say. She's out here trying to help women and men find their confidence again, live in their truth again, and that's what society needs is for us to live in our truth. Stop shunning people to fucking death to where the point that they do gotta feel afraid to, say their truth. And that's how we end up keep spreading things around that don't need to be spread around. And that just doesn't go for STDs. Like, there's people out here with real life issues spreading energies and shit to other people that they don't need. So let people live in their truth. I feel like if you let people live in their truth, it will stop a lot of this pain and suffering that we're going through right now. Just oppression alone causes pain and suffering. So I am no longer, bound to feeling like I have to have. I am who I am. And I can't be anything different. I know a lot of people probably feel like, oh, she losing her man or she going through grief. I need y'all to worry about yourselves at this point. Yeah, I am going through a lot. That's the truth. However, if you want to be technical about it, I had to grieve Dante a year ago. I left Dante in 2022. I didn't have anybody that I could talk to about what was going on. Even when I tried, I felt like the people I confided in didn't know what the fuck I was going through. They just thought like, oh, well, you should be angry. You should be upset. And it was like, but yeah, I am angry. And yeah, I am upset about what happened to me. But at the same token, I still love this person. So there is it's two sides of it. And I felt like I had to deny that I had love for him and that I loved him and we had this bond, while also, trying to rationalize that, yeah, I had been being abused. And unfortunately, even after I left, I still tried to be there for him. In the beginning, it was definitely, we would try to stay away from each other, but we would come around each other. That was probably like the first couple of months, and then it just got to a point where he became too possessive and obsessive again, and it was just like, no contact. So when people think that I'm losing my fucking mind now, well, I was losing my mind when I was stuck in the fucking house all the time. That's when I was losing my mind. I was losing my mind when I was going in and out of hospitals and no one knew about it. And the people that did know still didn't fucking check on me. And it probably wouldn't even made a big deal if they did. I was trained to not tell our fucking business. So, yeah, that was just how I lived for so long. So like when y'all are concerned that I am speaking out or you think I'm showing erratic behavior, no, I was losing my mind then. Now I'm finding myself, and I feel like for the most part I have found her again. I got some shit to work out, like no doubt I got some stuff I gotta work on every day, but dark clouds are not hovering over me anymore. Dark clouds was always around me during 2023 when I thought, I might lose my life because I tried to leave somebody. So yeah, dark clouds was then. But now I don't feel like that. I feel like more like when he died, I woke up and I finally fucking felt like I was safe, but then I didn't. And it's a weird thing. People who usually are in abusive relationship or have had childhood traumas, you usually have, complex PTSD. And that's what I was struggling with. And now I just don't give a fuck. Like, I'm trying to let everything out that I've been through, that I've been holding on to, that I've been carrying around. Like I said, if a nigga don't want to fuck with me because I have herpes, I don't give a shit. Like, you're not meant for me. And also, I don't want, a nigga to think that just because he got herpes, like, it's full free access to me. Like, no, it's not. I still want to like a person for themselves. Like, I don't want to settle for a person just because we like, I don't want to trauma bond with nobody no more. Like, if we fuck with each other, that's fine. But like, I'm not about to just lay down and just be with anybody just because they got the same diagnosis as me. No, not doing that either. Like, I encourage people to educate themselves on all these things that's out here. Because if you're having sex, you should. That's what sex ed was for in school, just in case your parents didn't teach you about it. That's why they had it. So, for me, this is a hard conversation. I don't know in these videos if I make it look easy. To me, I'm freaking the fuck out inside when I tell these stories or tell these truths. However, once I upload and that shit is just out there, I feel so much better. Yeah, some moments I have self-doubt, like, oh, you really hit enter, you hit upload on that. But then it just dissipates and I don't feel it no more. I begin to feel freer and freer and lighter. Another thing I want to mention, like, I really fucking quit my job. Yeah, I really cut my hair off, but look how beautiful this hair is. So I don't give a fuck. It's gonna grow back. Sometimes you just gotta let shit go. And definitely when you have locks too, sometimes in your locks you carry, shit around with you. So I love my locks. I actually kept them there in a Ziploc bag. I plan on keeping them until I figure out what I want to do with them. And if I do nothing at all, I would just keep them. But I feel like my strength and my warrior fighting spirit is in those fucking locks. But I still got that with me too. I did keep 3 of my locks. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be myself. So on this bald head journey, I do have my 3 locks right there. So I just want to be different, and probably by the time when I do have an afro, it'll be cute. Right now, it just looks different and stand out from everybody else, and that's just what I want anyway. And I'm probably not the only one who's done this. So I take no, credit for that, but it called out and it fit for me. I feel like a lot of these choices and decisions I've been making has been led and guided by, I feel like, spirit. You can call it God, spirit, your ancestors, whatever you want to call it, your spiritual team, and intuition, myself, but I'm not listening to outsiders anymore. I'm only listening to the voice in my head. However, I do know that I do have to listen to other people's opinions and perspectives as well. However, I'm just not living my life solely on what other people think. It's a difference. I'm always open-minded to hearing other people's side. Matter of fact, in the past, it was so much so that I would never listen to what I wanted. So, yeah, when I do these videos, I do them for myself and I also do them for others. Whether you have, lifelong STDs, or so they say, because I feel like they have a cure for all this shit, but that's just my opinion. And if they don't have a cure, it's people out here finding cures. And, so I just feel like this could help people who have diagnosis. This also could help people who don't have them. Be thankful and grateful that you don't have it. Don't shame me and judge me because I do. Because it's a funny thing called karma. So be careful what you judge somebody else for. I've had to learn that lesson. And no, I'm not perfect. I do still judge people, but I do check myself at the door. Usually when I'm judging someone, it's because it's activated a part in me. That I don't, like, or either if I'm judging somebody for the behaviors that they're doing, most of the time it comes from a place of concern. Like, I don't want you doing that, but that's not my place. Like, people have to live life for themselves, right? So I have to check myself when judgment comes up. I grew up with judgment a lot, so judgment comes up a lot with people. So I can't sit here and act like I don't judge people. I do. I think most humans do. That's how we navigate through life. But check yourself at the front door and see why you're judging them, because it usually comes from something that you've experienced or that you don't like about yourself or someone else you know. So yeah, this is this video. I will see what naturally comes up for me tomorrow. This was a big one. This is a big, big freeing chain breaker for me and my personal life, because it definitely weighed on my self-esteem, which I already had self-esteem issues before I even got diagnosed with it. But yeah, definitely kept me at a low self-esteem level. Probably kept me in my relationship for a long time too, because I think love kept me there. I ain't gonna even lie front, like it wouldn't have mattered. But love definitely kept me there. But I do think sometimes that did play a part on, like, no one else would want me. And no, I cannot pinpoint and say that Dante gave that to me. I don't know. I can't say that. And I'm always going to be careful with that wording of who did what when it comes to this virus, because I don't know. I wasn't being a responsible person out there. So, I had to take accountability for that too as well. However, I do remember getting blackout drunk one night too, and that could have happened or led to that. That was another sexual, abuse. It was basically rape, but at the time when it happened, I did not realize for myself that that was rape. Like I said, from childhood, because I wasn't validated, I would continue on to go through sexual assault stuff and not know that that was sexual assault. I would continue to listen to cases on TV or online and side with men because I wasn't validated and I was projecting, what was projected onto me. So yeah, you will have some women out here or men out here who even lie and say that they have been, sexually assaulted. But when it comes to sexual assault, I always say, listen to the person who is doing the accusing first. However, there should be, a trial. There should be some type of, investigation on it, because not all people who are claiming to be sexually assaulted are sexual assault victims, and nobody can tell a sexual assault victim how to react to sexual abuse or why didn't you fight somebody off. That's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard, because you have flight or fight responses. And I know I'm going on a tangent here, but that just activated something for me when I was talking about where I could have gotten it from. So yeah, but I felt like, and it was also funny because that night I was out with a friend and we were drunk together. However, she let me go with him, and she did. She asked, "Are you okay to go with him?" But I was fucking blackout drunk, like I've had a friend who was like that, and I yanked her ass. She wanted to go too, but I yanked her and was like, "No, you stand with me. You're not getting in the car with them. You stand with me." So I have had resentment for years against, that friend. And even so, like I told you, the way I dealt with forgiveness, I thought forgiveness meant, forgiving that person and allowing them another chance. So now I truly do forgive her. But me and her I can't trust her. So me and her that bridge can't cross. Like I will always have love for her. I will, communicate at a small level with her, but like to hang out with her and do things with her, I've came to the conclusion that that's a no for me. So yeah, I don't wish no harm on the things or the people that was done to me. Like even when I did my video yesterday, talking about incest and sexual abuse, I want to also elaborate on that you know, a lot of African American families have covered up sexual abuse, especially incest. However, the reason that I can forgive, not even outside of me giving it to God, but if you are a person who you conceptualize everything, you think about everything, you need to start thinking about what your ancestors went through on these plantations, and as slaves. There were breeding plantations where we were bred, and we were, you know, there were cases of incest being bred to breed the best slave, right? There are so much, it's so much psychological damage that has been done to Black people through slavery that you have to learn your history to understand the fucked up traumas that are passed down to us in our DNA, our genetic coding, and it continues. So, and no one was giving us the proper help. Matter of fact, we were told that, you know, you being crazy is, you know, something wrong. No, shit, what we done been through, we ought to be crazy. I don't even see how you could be fucking sane and you done been through all that, but that's just my take on it. I'm gonna rock my crazy, I'm gonna wear my weird flag, and I'm gonna be my fucking self, and I'm not faking it for the world anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I was raised and I know how to conduct myself in certain spaces, in certain areas, and I will continue to do that until society change their rules. Like, no, I won't go and do public speaking at a certain setting and, you know, speak this way. I would not speak this way, but I wish I could. I wish I could be myself in all settings. So, but that's a problem that we have in America. But I'm just gonna be my authentic self as best I can. But yeah, I don't, when it comes to sexual assault, sexual abuse, all that stuff, like, I am learning, and I've always known certain things. Like, there's even buck breaking. That's another conversation. Like, some of you niggas need to watch Moonlight and forgive yourselves, because some of y'all are hiding y'all truths, but that's not my story to tell. So, buck breaking was when, and it's buck, B-U-C-K, is when the plantation owners, or either the plantation owners helpers or whatever, would sit there and basically have sex with the male slaves, the biggest, the baddest, the unruly, and basically have sex with him in front of other, you know, slaves, his family, just the whole plantation. And how much of a spirit killer is that? Yeah, so I say to Black men, like, I'm telling my truth. Y'all need to live in y'all truth too, because some of y'all know y'all secrets and they're safe with me, but y'all need to live in y'all truth, and a lot of that homophobia comes from that. Some of y'all ain't gay and y'all still homophobic, and some of y'all are gay or bisexual and you're still homophobic. So live in your truth. Don't judge me, because I'm a living man, and even if you do judge me, guess what? It don't bother me, because I know who I am. I know my heart. I know that I've helped people even when I was at my darkest and my lowest point. Like, y'all might be looking at me now like this is my darkest and my lowest point. You have no fucking idea what I done been through, how low I done been, and how I've been functioning off reserves of energy. Like, just still helping people even though I didn't even have it for myself. Like, I am so broken and low to the point, like, I literally have to tell myself, you know, get up and eat, brush your teeth. Like, holla at me when you ain't took a bath in a few days. Like, holla at me when you ain't brushed your teeth in a few days. Like, you just functioning, you just existing. Holla at me when, you know, you don't take care of yourself. You don't want to get out of bed. Like, if you don't know that feeling, then don't do it. Don't judge me. Judge yourself. Like, But like I said again, even if you do judge me, I don't care. Like, I've been through it. I'm on the other side of it. I thank God I'm on the other side of it. I thank God that I finally found my voice again. I definitely didn't have a voice for a very long time. And it's weird because a lot of people who knew me when I did leave made remarks like, you know, I never thought you would have been the one to go through that stuff, like domestic violence or whatever. Like, I never saw you being there. And I even remember when I got pregnant with Charlotte, like somebody, I can't remember exactly who it was, but they was like shocked. It might have been a lot of somebody's, but they was like shocked I was pregnant. And it's like, all I could tell y'all is, I have no fucking say. I probably did worse than y'all. I just don't, I was used to being, you know, I would say I was used to being sneaky. And I also was used to being innocent looking, so no one ever thought like I was doing certain things. Sometimes I was the ringleader of certain stuff, and sometimes I was the follower. But like now, I just want to be the leader, and I will be a follower too when I need to follow, because I feel like, you know, in order to be a leader, you have to be a follower. You can't lead a group of people and you ain't never followed. So, and I just felt like, you know, I'm going to continue to tell my stories authentically as possible. I'm going to try to stay true to myself. And no, I'm not going to try. I'm going to stay true to myself. I am going to, you know, be me. I've made some big leaps in just the last couple of days. And there's no looking back for me. Like, me quitting my job was the biggest, like, that right there was bigger than me taking a goddamn walk from the West End to the South Side. Like, me quitting my job, like, I always was told never to quit your job if you don't know what you're doing next. But me, do I keep the job and I know that mentally I'm not there anymore? Mentally, it's killing my spirit just to show up at this place. Mentally, I'm putting on a face because I feel like I should be able to come back to this place. If I'm not happy no more, I'm just not going to do it. Like, if me sleeping in the car is my happiness, then that's just my happiness. I hope it don't come to that because I have a child and I don't want her to have to deal with that. But shit, sometimes she's so spoiled, maybe she needs to be humbled. And I'm saying that as a joke, but I'm not. Because like I said when I first started this, you know, life is not happening to us. Life is happening for us. And if you are one of these people who have been through all these unfortunate fucking events, you know, you have a story to tell or you have a purpose. God does not put his toughest battles on, you know, the people that he feel like can't handle it. Like, if you going through those things, then that means he feel like you can handle it. It's unfortunate that we do have to go through that, but sometimes that's just to humble us. I know I would not be as well-rounded if I had not went through the things that I went through. I was a fucking know-it-all as a child. Like, I felt like at goddamn 4, I knew more things than an adult did. And on some aspects I did, but guess what I was lacking? I was lacking experience, and life fucking experienced me. I'm well experienced now. So now not only do I have knowledge, I have wisdom too. And I did used to have wisdom too as a child, but however, I have wisdom and I have the experience to back it up. So, and then I'm constantly around other people with different life experiences, and I'm constantly learning from them, and I'm constantly hearing their perspectives and their world views, which makes me open-minded and accepting to people. So, you know, that's my truth. I went on tangents. I hope this was a good video. I'm posting it. So I'll see y'all tomorrow.